others.
All right, thank you, Oji, for those headlines. A whole lot of headlines, I mean, major stories, keeping the media going round. Barrister Chidi, so many stories, but I'd like us to start with the one that I caught across dailies, of course. Okay. Before we get to political matters, we know the PDP has been immersed in a crisis for some time. Now they appear to be taking a stand against the FCT minister, Wike. And of course, that's coming from Oyo State Governor
don't forget this issue here. Every Nigerian should learn combat skill for self-defense.
Okay, you know what? Since you brought it up, let's start from there. What's your take on that?
That's the question. So what is NYSC for?
NYSC.
Yeah, aren't Nigerians supposed to learn combat skills when they go for the Nigeria Youth Service Corps?
But NYSC program doesn't cut across everybody. It's for those who have the opportunity to go through the university. Yeah. There's a whole lot of youths who have not been.
Climb, right?
Yes.
Every individual in the country is meant to go through school.
Yes, it's meant to go through a kind of school. Yeah. It mustn't be a conventional four-wall school. Tutelage and all, what do you call it? All the things, the way we learn businesses, all of them are part of school.
That's right.
But you know one thing, this conventional school, there are certain things that it puts inside us which you can't get there. And there's also things you can get there which you can't get within the four walls of the university, but all of them are school.
Right.
Because you learn and it's also, there's a transfer
let's
of
go into the
knowledge.
statements. Now, the Chief of Defense Staff is saying that every Nigerian should learn combat skills for self-defense. Let's gain your holistic appreciation of that story.
Well, it's good, but in my own opinion, it's a way of telling Nigerians that we have gotten to the level of self-defense. And you know that self-defense is the first law of life. Self-defense. When all the laws are broken down, when we are in a state of quagmire, you are being advised to take up arms on your own and defend yourself. There are certain skills you can learn. It doesn't require you to be armed with anything. It could be judo, it could be karate, it could be anything that you can learn to defend yourself. But you should know that this self-defense comes on the effect that the police, every paramilitary or every law enforcement around you have totally failed, and none of them is in the position to protect you or to provide you with that defense that you need. Then you have to resort back to self-defense. After self-defense, you have another level called family defense, community defense, because people have to protect themselves. And I like what the man is saying, because it gives us that hope and that opportunity that whatever you do to protect and defend yourself and your family is right in the eye of the law.
Yes, I think one of the major concerns for Nigerians who want to attempt self-defense is what would be the limit of the self-defense, because you don't want to, in a bid to defend yourself, go and do something that will land you behind bars for the rest of what is left of your life.
Definitely.
Right? So where do you know the boundaries? Where's the
when
boundary?
you look at that word self-defense, it entails when there's an encroachment on your safety. There will definitely be an encroachment on your safety. You are not asked to go and train yourself to attack others. You're asked to train yourself, equip yourself, so that you can self-defend yourself on the event of an encroachment to that yourself. So it's a skill that is latent. You don't activate it unless there is a kind of a risk or a threat to your life. So when you ask about the boundary now, the boundary should be very, very made crystal clear that if you have acquired these skills, it's supposed to be an internal thing, a personal thing, a family thing, an office thing, a community thing, and there should be measures laid out to be activated only on the event of an attack. You understand? You can now link this to a story of a lady who was lynched because people thought that she was a kidnapper. You understand? So how do we draw this line? I keep on saying it here. There is nothing good about jungle justice. You can not really bring anybody who have been killed or anything that have been stolen back into life or back into position with jungle justice.
The thing about jungle justice is that it's not even in the Constitution.
It's not
there
even
is
in
no
the
law that says no job, but everything perpetrated during jungle justice, it's part of the Constitution.
Yes.
But when we start to see security operatives, like the operatives of Aguneche by Nanambra, what they did in Ndemili South, to that NYSC member, I mean, security operatives themselves perpetrating jungle justice. Where are we really going in this country? Who discourages who?
Natalie, it's my heart actually went out to the lady, because if you saw how she was beaten up and her clothes were torn into pieces, because we are running a system that is not checkmate with law. Agune Chamber should, I don't know whether the Anambra State House of Assembly have actually passed a law to that effect? What is the nature of the law? What is the nature of the authority and strength given to them? I saw them bearing arms.
Right.
You understand? So we should go into this. And what happened to that lady is very, very actionable. I want the police to intervene, and I want prosecution to take part, because the only thing that you can look, we can't be clump. I like that question. We are on safety, okay? There is insecurity, but measures we put also help to expose us, you understand, and inflict us with all kind of harm, because we are clamoring that there is insecurity in Anambra State, and Agnes Chamber has been instituted so that there will be security. All of a sudden, they turned around and started maliciously beating up and hurting those that they were established to protect. So we need to draw this curtain, and we have to use law to draw that curtain.
That's right.
Doesn't this spell doom for the Nigerian state, that a whole army chief, this is the result, that individuals, citizens should now resort to learning how to protect themselves? Doesn't this show that our security architecture is collapsing?
Exactly.
entirely?
Exactly, it does, because while I was waiting outside, I went through the 10 most important things that happened in Nigeria today, and I found out that almost 6 or 7 out of them borders on insecurity. People were killed in Jos. People were killed in Kaduna. A lot of things are bordering on insecurity. Katsina. A lot of things, news are coming up. Insecurity. And our president is busy flying all around the world. I don't know when we will get to the end of this insecurity. The statement by the Chief of Army Staff, I looked at it. I shook my head. I said, "Wow, yes, gives you chills." The security apparatus or the security architecture, it's not wide enough, it's not intelligent enough, it's not strong and broad enough to protect you. Protect yourself, save yourself, learn skills that will enable you to protect yourself. So I think it's one of the most important news today in Nigeria. People should not take it lightly. Don't take it lightly, most especially those who are living in the worrisome areas like in the northwest and in the northeast, okay? Because you can see there's renewed banditry and kidnapping attack. Regardless of what the Mr. President is promising Nigeria, all the measures being put together to ensure safety and peace. This thing is a reoccurring decimal, and it keeps on rearing its ugly head on a daily basis. So we have to really look at it very well.
I don't even know how to balance out Mr. President, going around telling Nigerians, come back home, everything is working out. And then when you're back home, you're hearing about this security.
It's great that you mentioned it, because despite all of that, we're seeing President Tinubu saying, don't stay away from your country. He is appealing to Nigerians in the diaspora to come back.
Yes.
And basically that people should stop demarketing Nigeria with their statements, like what we're doing now. I'm sure, according to the president, he would describe it as huge demarketing of Nigeria. So, should diasporans come home, President Tinubu is inviting them to return to the country and be a part of this.
Why did they leave Nigeria? That's the first question I'm meant to
Exactly. So maybe you can help us answer those questions.
I like the way the discussion is going. It shows that there's a whole lot of problem in Nigeria. One discussion, spiraling into another. Well, it's good. Diasporas who have something good to do here. I'm not discouraging anyone to stay away for a long time. You have to come. How long will you stay away? Have we all died? We have been in Nigeria for a long time. But it's not something that you jump into, and just start coming home. You could even die before you get here. It must be something that you've planned for a long time. It must be something that you've really discussed very well. You must have that passion to come home to set up something. People have come here to do businesses, and they were duped, and some were even killed, and some faced a lot of insecurity in their businesses, and had to sell up everything and travel back into where they were staying before. So if you are challenging diasporas to come back, you must present them with an unchallenging, enabling environment. And one of them is security.
Yes.
We must make sure that the security apparatus in this country, in the federal level, in the state level, and even in the local level, it's top-notch to guarantee the security of investors who are coming.
It's great for still on security, because we're seeing the CDS also, while he's calling for self-defense, saying that 2027 polls is behind the surge in killings we're seeing.
I disagree with CDS on that because there is no data. There is no palpable intel that can buttress that wild allegation. It's more or less, he sounds like a politician. That's the kind of statement you hear from politicians. Because when you look at data, Oji, you can see what about the Benue killing, what about the Just killing? All these things happened, prior before the 2027 election came into limelight. So I don't really. It's a statement. Or, let me not use that word, but it's not a statement coming from someone who is ready to battle insecurity, okay? Because when you look at intelligence, you can bear me witness that the sources of this insecurity has been in this country for quite more than 7 years right now. They know when they open up the borders for these bandits to enter into this country. They know who are funding them. They know where they are. When they conduct their mass kidnapping, they know where to go and rescue those people. They know. The Nigerian military knows exactly who are causing insecurity in this country. All it takes is a political will for them to fight them and flush them out. And until we get the leader who will assume that political will, definitely they will be there. And the killing will continue on a daily basis. I told you there was killing yesterday in Jos, and there was also killing in Kaduna.
All right.
What are the government going to do about that?
All right, let's go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll continue reviewing these headlines. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The program is still the Afia Morning Show. Back, of course, to have Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba looking at headlines this morning. Now we segue into the world of politics. As we've seen Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde talking tough still on the PDP crisis. He's saying he will not go down in the gutters with the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. And we know the division that PDP has been encountering because of the different factions that seem to have been formed. We have the national body, and then we have the division here in the south. Southeast PDP members are calling for one thing, the other members are calling for yet another. And at the center of the debacle is the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. Okay. Now, Seyi Makinde is not having it. He's not going down in the gutters with anybody. What's your take on the language of Seyi Makinde?
Seyi has really been if we can use that word, the backbone of PDP these days. Yeah. Because when everybody have left, even Atiku is no longer throwing his weight on PDP because of the crack that occurred during the 2023 election. Seyi is really working round the clock to lift PDP up from what it has been for a long time. But my problem is even when Atiku has left, why is Wike hell-bent on, have you noticed that for the past 2 or 3 years now, there's no meeting that has ended well? Wike will say a different thing, and Makinde would definitely say a different thing altogether. PDP holds a very fundamental place in Nigerian politics. If they can put their ass together, I've always said that they will be the party that is supposed to give APC a run for their popularity and money. But as we have seen, it keeps on depreciating and it keeps on dilapidating. I wonder when this whole thing will come to an end. And it will never. Oji, it will never. As long as one leg of a Wike is in APC, and another one is in PDP. There is no way.
He already made it concrete.
Yes, there's no way they will
support President Tinubu for 2027.
So he has made it that way. But my problem is, why can't they ask him to leave the party or expel him from the party? Why can't they do that? What? That's the basic. If I can use that word, what rope is he holding on PDP? What cord is he holding on PDP that the National Working Committee cannot, rise up and say Wike is totally expelled and let him leave the party alone? This is becoming a kind of if I can use a humanitarian matter, because a lot has really gone down the drain. This split and crack in PDP have made how many governors? I think 5 governors to leave and decamp to other parties. Because when this thing lingers for a very long time, there's no way they can plan, there's no way they can summon up the power and the resilience that is required for them to mount up opposition. They have not really mounted up a formidable opposition against APC because they have been, dilapidated and bad. No single meeting can hold. None. I wonder what Makinde is going to do, because those who are following Wike are also members of PDP, and they have stronghold in PDP. So there's no way. They say yes. They say that a house divided within itself will never stand.
He's still saying that regardless of everything we've pointed out on today's show, that the party is not dead.
His party is
and
not
will
dead.
offer better options for Nigerians.
And whenever you hear that word, the party is not dead. Okay, it simply means that there is something from the grapevine that sends the signal that the party is dead or the party is about to die. You understand? So people are asking this question, where is PDP? A party that ruled this country for 16 years. There was a time out of the 36 out of the 36 states in Nigeria, there was time PDP was taking over like 26 or even 30. Only PDP, the whole of the country. So where is that power? Where is that influence? Where is that value that have mustered over this year? So they have really gone down the drain. I must be honest with you.
What could be the revival? What could be the revival? The consultations and all that is going. We from the grapevine too heard that Goodluck Jonathan might be that candidate, right? And we also heard from the grapevine that they are somehow pushing Peter Obi, right? And also, as you're talking about this, 2027 on Voice of Liberty, allies abandon Atiku.
Yes, I saw
as ex-VP eyes presidency on ADC ticket. Atiku again.
That will be the straw that will break the camel's back. You see, 2027, the camel's back was broken. I said it. Let's call a spade and not a farm implement. If this ADC coalition comes together at the end of the day, and they did not select a Southerner as their presidential flag bearer, they're not going anywhere. Even me, I'll vote against them. I'll join APC. Do you know why? Look at what happened in 2015 when Atiku, who was a staunch member of PDP, okay, all of a sudden they say power must go to the north. And they fought Goodluck Jonathan with 5 governors. He decamped, formed the G5, left, formed APC, and what happened? That was the coalition that collapsed PDP.
Yeah.
That was the coalition that collapsed PDP. Power was in the south then, and it's like it's about to repeat itself again. Power is in the south, and you are saying that power have to go to the north. Why? Probably Atiku is the stooge here because you can't muster. He's the stooge here. He can if Atiku, look at what he did in 2023. He knew. Okay, oh my God, Southern PDP have been kind of ill-treated, okay? They supported the zoning system, but when it was time for the Southeast to produce a presidential flag bearer for PDP, all of a sudden Atiku came and said it's his turn again, and he took it over from PDP. Peter Obi would have been the flag bearer of PDP in 2023, and had it been, he could have given an entirely new outlook to the election.
Yeah.
But Atiku came and said that it must go to the north. After the north have ruled Nigeria for 8 years, that was very, very shocking. That was so when Wike was after PDP, trying to, do to them whatever that comes within his ambit, I wasn't really pitying them because look at the party that the South is supported for more than 16 years and beyond. And when it's time for them to now, and they gave this country, they were about to give this country one of the best presidential flag bearer in the name of PDP. Atiku took it out. So if the coalition will collapse because this same Atiku wants to clinch power, then let it be, because I am sure they have to have an alternative, and that alternative is what is PDP. The alternative of the coalition is PDP, and the only thing that makes Jonathan a very viable candidate is because he has been a president for 4 years, so he cannot go beyond the constitutional provision of being another 4 years. But Obi promising 4 years is neither here nor there. Politicians could get into power and another thing can happen. Interests could fall in and negotiations could go on and the person might not leave the office again. So that's the fear of the North. Those who are pushing for Jonathan to come back are the core Northerners, because they have dealt with him, they know him, they trust him, and he has been there for 4 years constitutionally. So there's no way he can go for beyond 4 years. And if you want to wrestle power out of APC, I think the best presidential candidate should come from the South and not from the North.
Okay, so go ahead. Daily Times.
Go ahead, yes.
ASU rejects 150,000 naira monthly pension for retired lecturers and may go on strike.
We are back to strike all over again. So it's never, when we talk about policies that will have both a short-term effect and a long-term effect, that's what we are talking about. ASU will keep on demanding, labor, they will keep on coming. All the wages, it will keep on coming. So the economy really needs to be looked into. But for a long time now, ASU or this university this have been stable. So I think it's something that the Minister of Education should look deep into and ensure that they give ASU what they want. We are clamoring that the educational sector has been dilapidated, and if the if ASU will go on strike, it will definitely affect them and it will definitely affect education. It's not the kind of thing that we will, this government should grapple at this particular period in time. I think it's something that should look into and resolve it as quickly as possible.
Right, now there's a headline that we cannot overlook before we wrap up this segment, and that concerns climate change. Because when the climate decides to hit the hammer heavily on us, none of us can escape. Except you want to go to Venus, Mars, Jupiter, you cannot leave. We'll all be trapped. You cannot escape the impact of climate change, especially when you start seeing the ripple effect of gross mismanagement of the climate sector globally, we can put it that. Though some efforts are being made in the foreign climes, I'm not yet seen enough talk about climate change in Nigeria. Some people don't even believe there's such a thing as climate change.
Do you know why?
I'm talking about Nnamdi. Nnamdi might be watching this. Afia TV political and economic correspondent does not believe that climate change is truly a thing. So this is a serious conversation. For me, I disagree completely, and he knows because climate change is a thing, and this is what we've learned in school all of this while. But we're not seeing any of that. Now we're seeing the experts saying that floods are also worsening Nigeria's healthcare woes. And flooding is a major facet or impact of such climate change.
Yes, they've been flooding for a very long time. And it's not as though I don't believe in the climate change. When things happen, you will know that, yes, the climate is really, really changing. Sometimes the nature and the size of rainfall will definitely increase astronomically. And you ask yourself this question, where is this all coming from?
Exactly.
Okay, when we had the first flood in Nigeria, we've never had it before. So if anyone doesn't want to believe in climate change, I wonder what that person is thinking about. But my problem is that when we think about climate change, we think about green energy, and we ask ourselves this question, what the effect of what is actually coming out from Africa is very little when you talk about the climate change, how the African environment is affecting the climate change. It's Europe and America. These are where this is the area, you understand, where a lot is happening. So they are actually the ones burning up the fuel and heating up the climate, you understand. The whole, when I was looking at the data, I saw that the whole Africa were not even generating anything that could. But then once it happens there, it will definitely affect us here, okay? We know the sources of this, flooding, the dam all over Cameroon and all the rest of them, and there are certain things that need to be built in Nigeria here that should checkmate the rates and the level of this flooding. The government is not paying attention to all those things. That climate change is real. You understand, some statistics came out the other time. They said that so many cities in certain coming number of years, part of them will disappear, you understand? And the ocean level continues to rise. So you cannot pay lip service to all those things. And the nature, the way it's affecting us here in Nigeria now, we should have, I don't know whether we should call it a commission. I don't know whether the National Emergency Management it's really, really capable enough to, contain what is going to happen. All right, I don't know whether you were listening to the news. You saw what happened in Pakistan 2 days ago. I've never seen this kind of a thing. It will uproot the house from foundation and, hit down bridges that have been standing for quite a long time. So I think something is going on. Climate change is real, and all those indications that, affect it to be well checked. All I know is that Africa is not really, really generating a lot or in what is, distorting the climate. Yeah.
Well, we have to be proactive, not reactive, by the way. So.
All right. Thank you so much, Barr Chidi, for joining. I mean, we always have such exciting conversations. You know how to... I think you're our very own cup of or mug of coffee every morning. It's almost like you come with like 10 tablespoons of coffee. Let me not say the components in the coffee, but yes, thank you so much.
So it's a pleasure to be here with you and Oji and Nnamdi. Nnamdi have been running away from this fight, but before this whole conference is over, we'll be able to nab him.
Your fight, so.
All right, now we'll go on a quick break. When the Morning Show returns, we'll take regional stories, looking at what's happening in Ebonyi State concerning a mining incident, and of course bringing it back to Enugu, where the Hotel Presidential has apparently made a big comeback. The show returns shortly. Stay tuned.